touch the skies. Cheltenham Town and Forest Green, Gloucester City stands so keen. Talk of the county, loud and clear.
Good morning, I'm your host Daniel Hopkins and welcome to another episode of Talk of the County podcast, sponsored by BAM Recruitment. They find better matches than most managers in the January transfer window. Whether it's temporary or permanent, they put the right people in the right positions. Engineering, construction and operational, no VAR needed here. Good morning, gents.
Good morning.
Morning.
We've got Chris.
What are we even doing here, mate? What are we even doing here? Cheltenham haven't played.
We're the odd ones out today, mate. How you doing, Chris?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good.
And we got Sean. Hey, Sean Baker. How are you doing, Sean?
Morning.
He was very.
I can read lips, and he said, "Yes, I'm fine, thank you."
This morning.
Nah, I'm sure we could hear you. And morning, Dave. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. Right, let's crack on. It's a weird one today because obviously Cheltenham don't play until tomorrow, live on Sky Sports, I may add. So that's why the game's been moved. It's not just we haven't had a game. So they play tomorrow. So we've got two games to round up, and we're going to start off with Forest Green. But before we do that, we're going to go round the grounds with Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Reg. Let's go around the grounds. Sponsored by M&N Discos. For any event, party, wedding or function, contact M&N Discos on the link in the description for your music and karaoke needs. We'll start with the ladies and Cheltenham Town women, who last Sunday continued their good run of form. Now 5 unbeaten in all competitions with a 2-1 home win over Lewes FC ladies in the Women's National League Southern Premier Division, with goals from Bella Hall and Amelie Curtis. Also notable that this game was Meg Arnott's 50th appearance for the club. Next up is an FA National League Cup second round game at home to Swindon Town today. In the Southwest Regional Women's Football League, Forest Green Rovers ladies didn't have a game last week, while Gloucester City women lost 2-1 at home to AEK Boko ladies last Sunday, with Gloucester's goal coming from Sashi Kaneko Grun. Later today, it is the big county derby with Gloucester City at home to Forest Green Rovers. 2 p.m. kickoff at the Tiger Turf Stadium.
First 100 people, first 100 people get in free as well. So get there early and you'll get in free.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Dave. Bishop's Cleeve were in league action on Tuesday at home to Melksham Town, where Cleeve ran out 3-1 winners, but their title challenge took a hit yesterday, falling to a 5-0 defeat away at league leaders Portishead Town. This leaves Cleeve 5th in the league, but it is tight at the top of the Southern League Division 1 South, with just 4 points covering the top 5. Cleeve hosts Frome Town on Tuesday before a trip to Falmouth next Saturday. Hartpury didn't have a midweek game this week, and yesterday they played out a 0-0 draw away at Frome Town, leaving Hartpury 10th in the league and no midweek game for them, and they host Tavistock AFC next Saturday. The Hellenic Premier Division saw a reduced number of games this week due to the FA VARs, but in the league there was a county derby between Cirencester Town and Tuffley Rovers. Goals from Theo Jeremy, Harley Price and Ed Scott saw Cirencester run out 3-0 winners. Fairford won 2-0 at home to Mangotsfield. Long Levens will be disappointed after being held to a 1-1 draw away at second bottom Royal Wootton Bassett. And bottom club Lydney Town celebrated an excellent 2-1 win over Westfields in just their second league win of the season. A number of the county's teams were in action in the FA Vars, including Cinderford, who advanced 5-3 on penalties following a 1-1 draw against Helston Athletic, a result I know that Reg enjoyed. And Slimbridge also advanced following a 5-0 thrashing of Ivybridge Town away. And that's the roundup from around the grounds. Back over to you, Dan.
Thanks, Chris. The reason they're calling me Reg, I'll put it out there. I'll kill the joke here. My middle name is Reginald. Dave had to send me some money, so unfortunately, my bank account comes up with my middle names. So it's something you're probably going to hear going forward. But hey, it's okay because I will be doing some digging myself. So let's start with Gloucester City. And Dave, so you also had a 3-2 win. How did you see the game?
Yeah, started well. Kane Simpson scored after 10 minutes of his away debut and scored after about 12, 13 minutes of his home debut. Great little finish. Ball played into him in the box. Got the ball out from under his feet and just passed it beautifully into the bottom right-hand corner. Cracking
He's
finish.
a bit of a cheat code at that level, surely, Dave.
He does look a great option for us up front. He's got a bit of physical presence and he can finish, and I think that's what we've been lacking. They went down the other end and equalised pretty much against the run of play, really. But then 2 quick fire goals just before half time. One from a fantastic goal from Michael O'Regan, the centre back, who is a classy act. I compared him yesterday to, he reminds me very much of Robbie Cundy when we had him as a youngster. He's still only, I think, 22, 23, O'Regan. I think he could have a big future in the game. Brought the ball out from the back. He's about 6'4", 6'5", strided forward, played a lovely 1-2 with Ellis Watts and finished with a plume into the top corner. 2-1 up, and then King scored again to put us 3-1 up just in the dying embers of the first half. Went in 3-1 up, and I fancied us to batter them then, to be honest. I thought we were going to go on and score 5 or 6, but didn't turn out that way. Second half performance wasn't anywhere near the first half performance. We didn't play too well, conceded 1. Squeaky bum time, as we are so adept at creating. But on this occasion, we held out, defended well. Currently without 3 of our first choice back 4/5, with Kieran Thomas out until the new year. Ben Richards-Everton on a 1-game ban from his sentence. 2 yellows last week, and Ben Morgan still out. So bit of a makeshift defence, and it's showing a little bit. Conceded 2, but we scored 3 points. Keep up the chase of the old Walton and Hersham, who smashed another 4-0 win in yesterday. So, but we're as long as we keep winning, it's all we can do.
Dave, I think you've missed out the absolute best part of the game.
Would that be me doing a forward roll over a little bit in front of
do you elaborate on that, Ben?
Yeah, I did leave that out, deliberately so, actually. But thanks for reminding me about that, Chris. Yeah, after packing up leaving the programme stall, I went off, stashed some stuff in the kitchen, came back, and as I was concentrating fervently on the game, striding back towards the back of behind the goal, I was looking sideways and not looking where I was going, and did a forward roll over a rather large red, very obvious litter bin, which got quite a cheer from the main stand. But thankfully, I don't think anybody caught it on video. I certainly haven't seen that surface yet, and I hope it remains that way.
I mean, in 10 years' time, the Beatles will be back about, and you'll see this video from Gloucester City, Dave tripping over the bin.
I think you've got the wrong show. I think you're thinking of You Been Framed, Beatles about. It wasn't the main setup. They didn't put the bin in front of me. Just it's always been there, and I just wasn't looking where I was going.
That's what you think, Dave. It was being moved as you was walking.
That bloody Cheltenham fan who was there in a Cheltenham shirt.
Yeah, that blows my mind. So on to the game. You mentioned Kane Simpson makes it 1-0 after 15 minutes. He goes back to goal, turned his man and shots into the corner. Like you mentioned, it's a great start for him, Dave, and then that's what you Gloucester fans would have wanted. Yeah, he looks a really good player. He looks very just what we've been missing, really. That puts him on 9 goals now for the season in the division, 7 for Taunton, 2 for us. So yeah, he's exactly what we've been crying out for, I think. Most of the fans last season and this season have been crying out for, no disrespect to the strikes we got, but I think we're just one short, and I think he's that
missing part of the jigsaw that we've been longing for. And he looks excellent addition.
Yeah, it was just something scored 20 odd goals last season for
20 for Merthyr. He sort of very much went under the radar for Merthyr, because when you're a centre forward at Merthyr and you score 20 and nobody notices, you're a bit harsh. But when you're also playing alongside Ricardo Rees, who scores about 40 or 50 every single season, nobody really notices you. But those goals were important for Merthyr last year.
Because you mentioned, obviously, and we'll get on to it towards the end of the chat, but you mentioned about Walton. They keep winning, but bringing someone of his caliber in who can score goals, it's going to be good for Gloucester, because you know what you need to do now. You need to keep winning, don't you, and keep that pressure on.
Yeah. I mean, if I desperately hope that we've got to play Walton and Hersham twice. One would be on the 15th of December away, but look, there's a fair chance that's going to have to be rearranged, because that's the next round of the FA Trophy, and I can't see we've got Slough on Saturday, even if we don't go through. If Walton go through, and that game will have to be rearranged, and we'll have to go there on a Tuesday. But we've got them twice. We'll do everything we can to catch them, but I can't stress enough how important it is, if we don't catch them, to finish second, to be able to have a home semi-final guaranteed, and a home final guaranteed if you get through the semi-final is massive. I have enough. Walton and Hersham are a very good side, and if we had to play them in the playoffs, you'd be thinking, but I've not seen anybody else in this division who I'd be particularly scared of playing at home. I think we've got it in us to beat anybody on the day at Meadow Park. We've got a really good record there, so yeah, we just got to keep on winning, keep on hanging in there, and see what happens. Logic says they've got to have a sticky patch sooner or later, but there again, we said that about Merthyr last season, and they didn't. So it could happen again, but we'll see. But yeah, if we don't keep on winning, it all becomes irrelevant. So you can only control the controllables, can't you? So we just need to do our thing and let everybody else get on with their thing, and hopefully we get close enough by the last game of the season when we play Walton at home, which could be a hell of a day.
Yeah. And obviously then having leveled on 32 minutes, which I actually missed when I was doing all the notes. I got through and I had Gloucester 2-0 up at half time, and I was like, no, actually, it was 2-1. So yeah, they level on 32 out of the goal. Come about, Dave.
Same answer as I always give. I was behind the other goal, so I didn't see a great deal. Look, reasonably well worked goal. No glaring errors. They just 1 minute they were passing it about, and then somebody was through on goal and slotted it in. Didn't have the best view, but it's in the end of the day, it didn't matter.
Ball went in the back of the net. That's how the goal came about.
It did. It indeed.
But one you would have had a good view of was Michael O'Regan played a 1-2 with Watts, a fire zone. Not bad for somebody who's not a striker.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the. I haven't seen any highlights appear on social media yet, but we always do pretty good highlights and show the goals on Twitter X. So yeah, looking forward to seeing that again. He's a classy player. Having a lot of centre backs at Southern League level, and even at National League North and South level, are very much head it, kick it as far as you can centre backs, and he's very far from that. He's classy. He could play in midfield easily. He's good on the ball, confident on the ball, brings the ball out well. As I said previously, I can see him progressing up the pyramid, and hopefully with us. But if not, then I can't see him hanging around the Southern League for too long, with the ability he shows at the age he is as a centre back.
I think there's a delay with the highlights because they're editing someone doing a forward roll in the first minute.
I do hope that's not the case.
Brilliant. So obviously that makes it 2-1, and then just before in stoppage time again, Gloucester have a good chance, and their keeper Cooper makes a good save, and that could have been 3-1 at half time.
Yeah, it was 3-1 at half time.
Yes, it was. Sorry, I got yeah. you were right,
Could have
Dave.
been 4-1 at half time.
Could have been 4-1 half time, as I meant. Yeah,
It wasn't.
that didn't stop City as King Badu scores again and makes it 3-1.
Yeah, I had a good chat with him after the game actually in the bar, and he said he's loving it. He's buzzing at the moment. He's a confidence player, and his confidence is sky high at the moment. He's looking really dangerous out wide on the left. He looks like I haven't seen a right back yet this season who can cope with his pace. He just seems to when he's on song, his pace just takes him away, and whether that's a cross like he did to Kane last week for them, which leads to a goal, or whether he cuts in and has a strike. But yeah, he's looking a real goal threat at the moment.
So talk us through the goal, Dave. It made it 3-1. Obviously, we're talking a lot about Badu at the moment, and he said scoring again. What was his goal like?
It's good, typical. Got out wide down the left ball. Yeah, just hits it. He shoots on sight. He just gets a shot away early. Recently, he's had a deflection, and this one he just put in his favourite bottom corner. He's very direct and quick, and he causes a lot of problems. Yeah, it was just another good finish.
Yeah, so that takes it to half time, and it is 3-1. Second half and 4 minutes in, probably the worst start you could have had Avignon make it 3-2.
Yeah. Again, didn't have the best view of it, but Dav said he seemed a bit disappointed with it. But we've got a bit of a makeshift back four. I don't know if we can even really play our preferred formation at the moment, because we haven't got the players fit to do it. In an ideal world, we'd probably have Ben Morgan, O'Regan, and Ben Richards-Everton as three centre backs, with Kieran and Dylan Jones as wing backs. But when you lose three of those players, it hits Dav's ability to play exactly the way he wants to play. But we're getting through, and the players will come back, and we're only get stronger. We got Wilded to come back hopefully soon too. Previous seasons, if you lose players of the quality that we've got out at the moment, we'd be limping along and probably not picking up results. But we still picked up 3 points with some very important players out. So can only bode well from when they come back.
Yeah, and obviously not much happened. Nelson in the second half. Dave was there.
It was not a huge went on really. It was we controlled quite a lot of the ball. They had some. There was not many clear cut chances really. It just sort of petered out. Referee announced I think 4 minutes of injury time, and then played about 7 when there hadn't been any more stoppages. So I was a bit nervous towards the end, but I felt pretty confident we weren't going to concede. I didn't, not like Uxbridge last week where I just felt they were going to score. To be honest, yesterday I really didn't, and luckily I turned out to be right.
Yeah. And then obviously on the Daft's thoughts, he said the most important thing for Gloucester was the first winning 2, obviously after 1 defeat and a draw.
Yeah.
It was important you got back on the winning ways, wasn't it?
Yeah, very much so, especially with all the other teams at the top winning. To keep properly in touch and right in there, we need to keep winning as well. And luckily we did.
Yeah, he did say that. He said he was he would have liked City to be better. Again, I think that's more coming down to the goals, as what you conceding, and we'll get on to that in a moment. But what do you think about what do you think he was trying to say, Dave? That City need to be better.
We just weren't, especially second half. We just weren't at our best. We just looked a bit out of sorts. We weren't creating as much as we normally do. He's a hard taskmaster, and with his non-negotiables, and there was no lack of effort. It's just one of those. It just that second half, it just didn't really click, and we weren't sort of creating as much as we tend to do, but got the job done.
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously he goes on to the disappointing defending. Giving goals away. I think obviously in the last few games. Obviously, it was 4 at Uxbridge, it was 3 against Berkhamsted, 2 again yesterday. I know you mentioned, Dave, that you've got a few defensive problems at the moment, but
Yeah.
is it a concern that you're conceding way too many goals?
As long as we keep scoring more, I'm happy. And plus, I know we've got those players coming back. Bree is massive for us. Ben Richards Everton is a colossus at the back, and I always feel a whole lot more confident of keeping a clean sheet when he's right in the middle back there, and he's to be back next week after his 1 game ban. So, yeah.
But you have got the fire. And you mentioned about keep scoring. You have got the firepower, which obviously sounds like a bit like the Man United of the 90s. You score 3, we'll score 4.
Yeah, we can score goals from all over the pitch. I mean, we've got Kane Simpson, you've got King, you've got Ellis Watts, who's capable of scoring from anywhere he picks the ball up on the pitch on his day, and then you've got the likes of Pinchard and Sean Spence and Hanksy. We've got goals throughout the team. Really don't rely on one player, which helps, doesn't it? Because you're not all your eggs aren't in one basket. If one's not available or is injured or suspended, then you've got other players who can weigh in with goals, and I think that proves very important over the course of the season. Yeah.
But that luck will kind of run out in the end, though, won't it? If you conceded 3, you're not going to score 4 every game, are you?
I might score 5.
That's what Forrest Green keeps saying. So he said obviously a bit disappointing. He said need to look at the defence going into next week. What's he mean by that? Have you got players coming back, or do you think potentially
Bree should be back? I believe he was fit. He looked fit enough in the bar afterwards. Giant that he is. So I think he was just his 1 match suspension, I hope. I'm not really sure what's up with Ben Morgan, to be honest, but I haven't heard any announcement that he's got a serious injury, so hopefully he'll be back soon. Ledbetter came on yesterday, so he's obviously pretty much back fit. Don't get me wrong, Mitch Roberts has done well when he's come in, the new chap. But yeah, when you've got everybody available, I think hopefully a couple of them will be. We are missing Kieran Thomas, right back, captain. He's a very good player, very experienced player, and he's been playing the level above for a long time with Weston-super-Mare, who won yesterday. They're challenging right at the top, Weston-super-Mare, and yesterday he scored. Sam Avery scored, and he's a Cheltenham Wadden boy. His dad Kev used to come all the time when we were playing at Wadden Road, and Kev left us when he was like 30, like in 2019, and he's still, like, fair play to him. He's absolutely still smashing it in the National League South. Fair play to him. He scored again yesterday. Top fella, but
yeah, they are doing really well, West, and I always keep an eye over their results. Obviously.
Yeah, same. Chippenham are struggling badly. I think they'll be coming down to our level next season by the looks of it. So hopefully we're not hanging around to welcome them.
We're talking about Kieran Thomas. What injuries he got, Dave? Because
some quite serious knee injury. I was talking to him afterwards, and I said, when you're looking to be back, and he said January at the best. So I think ligament damage in his knee, but yeah, he's out for another couple of months. So
yeah, well, let's hope wish him well and hope he gets back, because like I said, he's one player that I actually said should have had his chance in the Football League, and he should have maybe been playing national level at minimum.
He's got a bit of Stuart Pearce about him. There's no nonsense. The way he challenges, he tackles like an absolute train. He's not the biggest, but he's such a strong little player.
Well, there's a little story that going back when he travelled with the Cheltenham first team to Rotherham. He didn't get in the squad, but he travelled with the first team because obviously Mark Yates really liked him and what have you. And he was obviously quite young, and then he just didn't appear again. Not around the first team, not on the bench, not travel. And I heard a story a little while after. and apparently he was training. He went in on Cade Mohammed really hard. They talked about his hard tackling.
The
And
only way he can play. It's the only way he can play. You wouldn't be able to take that out of his game, whether it be a match or training. That's just Kieran.
Kieran, yeah. Anyway,
You
well,
don't get the nickname Pitbull for nothing, do you?
yeah, exactly that. But when Cade turned around and said, "What the are you doing?" he went, "I'm here to impress." And I don't think it did impress the manager too much, and unfortunately it didn't work out. But I do keep an eye on it. Obviously, I know the family quite well, and he's a good lad and a very good player.
Martin
Rags, yeah, I used to play football with his dad. So you said it would have been disappointing not to take the 3 points, but you did, and like I said, that's the main thing. Obviously, because we talked about not having Walton winning again. And like you said, you just got to keep that pressure on, Dave, haven't you?
That's all we can do. That's all we can do. We can only affect them when we play them. Any other? They've got. I mean, they've got FA Trophy as we have next week, but the next round of games on the Tuesday we're away at Basingstoke, which is a tricky little game. But if we can come through that, whilst Walton are away at Sholing, who are right up there, so that could be a difficult game for them. Hoping they drop some points there, but so the way they're going, they probably won't.
Yeah, and then he goes on to talk about Simpson. As we said about last week, didn't we? That the Simpson was the only problem was last week you lost, so he didn't really get that glowing reference. But he did go on to say, that's the reason we brought him in, and just basically say, he's doing what he needs to do, and the fitter he get, City get the benefits from it.
Yeah, he'd been on the bench for Taunton a couple of times before he came to us, so I think may have played a part in us getting him. To be honest, I think he was very happy. He didn't seem to get on too well with older Luffers, the Taunton manager, and I think he was the top scorer there, and got left on the bench a couple of times, which he wasn't overly happy about, and I think that probably led to him deciding he wanted to play football elsewhere, which is their loss and our gain. So yeah, he's only going to get fitter. He does a lot off the ball as well. He holds the play up. He makes intelligent runs. He's a really good man. Like number 9, leads the line well. As I said previously, what we've been missing.
Yeah. They mentions the fans. Just under 1,100 was there. Praised the fans, but he was a little bit critical.
It was really quiet yesterday. It was really strange. I was behind the T end in the second half, and I was turned to somebody. I said, "Why is it so quiet?" But it's strange, isn't it? You get. I'm sure it's the same with most clubs, that you get a certain few people who are the ones that get the chanting going, and when they're not there, you just really miss them. Shout out to Mark East. He the loon that he is, he does get people singing, and he was indisposed yesterday, so he wasn't there. But yeah, it got there late on. A few people stepped into the breach and got a few songs going, and it was not too bad for the last sort of 15 minutes. But before that, I can only agree with Daphs. It was very, very subdued and quiet.
Would you say
it only breached over 1,000 because half the fans there were Cheltenham fans?
one of them, Chris. One of them.
Well, theoretically, there's 3 there. 3 of what I knew. Well, the one you said,
yeah. My gardener's got common sense not to wear a Cheltenham shirt in the TN now.
Even his 3 boys. But do you think that was down to nerves, Dave? Do you think it was like I said, you look at the Bergenstein, you can see it very late. You can see it very late against Uxbridge.
Maybe. I think, to be honest, I think it was more down to just personalities missing out of the crowd, who are the ones who get people making a noise, and without them, it just sort of people just tend to just watch the game. And you're not bullied and elbowed into joining in with songs.
It's ironic. It's funny, really, because obviously I go back to something I heard Steve Cottrell say a couple of weeks ago, and he's saying a manager can have his say on the training ground, he can have his say in the dressing room, and he goes, we shout things from the side. He said, but you would not believe what a different that the crowd have a bigger impact on the team by getting behind them once they step over that white line. It's quite fair. It's a fair comment, really, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a horse and the cart thing, isn't it? You could say you need the players to get the get the fans excited, or do you need the fans to G the team up first? It must help the players to have a good atmosphere, but it doesn't.
Yeah, definitely.
There's no rhyme or reason, is there? Some games you go to and just it's like great atmosphere, and another game, most of the same people are there, and it's just a bit more subdued. I don't know what causes it, but
Yeah. And in the week, Daff went on the Gloucester City's own podcast. Some of the things he said, but the one thing that stuck out for me is he seems to have a clear passion for the club. He said if any other club outside the EFL had offered him what City had, he would have stayed at Newport. He's got a connection with the club, hasn't he?
Very much so. Yeah, I mean, he was assistant under Lee Mansell, and when they both left, as Daff said on his podcast, I saw him loads of times. Loads of times on a random Tuesday night, you'd just see him pop up and drive all the way from Newport to watch us play. So he obviously he caught the bug, and he's got a genuine love of the club. And I'm damn glad he has, because I think he's an excellent manager and a top guy.
Yeah, no, he does come across really well, and obviously I got to listen to all the press conferences after the game, for the pod, and I do actually enjoy listening to him. He generally knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he's knowledgeable. He's honest. He doesn't make excuses. He takes responsibility. He's just a top fella.
Yeah. We mentioned Walton won 4-0. They do seem to be romping. When you walk out of the ground, I should imagine you're keeping an eye anyway.
Yeah.
But when you walk out of the ground after and you see they've won, not just won, but they thumped Weymouth 4-0.
I saw when they went 1-0 up, and you think you went at that stage. I'm looking on my phone, and then as soon as they went 2-0 up, I just put my phone back in my pocket, because just thought they ain't not winning that game. And yeah.
But you say, Dave, obviously that they don't seem to lose yet, but their time will come. They'll have a dip. Every team does it now. Gloucester have just got to make sure they stay on the tails, haven't they? And be
exactly that. Yeah, just got to keep grinding out those 3 points each week, and just wait for them to slip up. And then when we play them, we just got to make sure we beat them. We beat them home and away. We're a point behind. So
yeah,
it's being right close to them is very in our hands. But apart from the games we play, and we can't affect what goes on in their lovely leisure centre in Walton. So.
So obviously you'll take a break from the league next week. You're back in FA Trophy action. It's going to be a tough game going to Slough, isn't it? I know they're struggling in the division above, but they seem to be saving all their form for the cup competitions. They're obviously in the round. They got a great little FA Cup run going. So I wonder how much emphasis they'll put on the trophy. I don't know. They certainly need to pick up their league form if they're not going to be dropping through the trap door. They're right down near the bottom. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It might be an easy game. Obviously, they're a division above us, but quite fancy our chances, to be honest. It's on 3G, which suits us down to the ground. So yeah, hopefully we get a result. Money in the bank and into the next round for waiting for Forest Green. But that's what I was going to say. Like it's a free hit for Gloucester, isn't it? Because everybody would be expecting Slough to win because obviously they are the team higher up. But if you take it that Gloucester are second in the Southern Premier,
interesting to see how the bookies price it up. To be honest, because
there's only a small gap because they're in the relegation zone.
We're 4 places below them in the pyramid, aren't we? They're at home. They'll probably be slight favourites, but I wouldn't say they'll be overwhelming favourites.
No. And obviously, like you said, and if you get through, it starts to get a bit serious then, doesn't it? You're starting to look at going, well, if we can get the luck of the draw, or you
want one of two things, don't you? Either on a home draw against, if you want a home draw, whatever, but you want a team that is your level or lower that you can progress further, or you want that plum tie against a really big club at home,
or Forest Green. You safe
you can fill up the ground and make some money.
Yeah. Chris, your thoughts on Gloucester's result?
I don't really think about Gloucester too much,
Yes,
to be
you
quite honest with
do.
you. No, look, it's a win. Is it an impressive win? No. Have Walton's results been impressive? Yes. I've just looked in Walton's last 3 games. They've scored. Uh, they scored 6 last week, 5 this week, and I think 4 the
All
week
this week, you're
before.
exaggerating now, Chris.
I apologise. It was 5 the week before that.
Was, yeah.
So their last 3 games, they've scored 15 goals
Yeah.
and they've conceded 1.
Yeah.
That's
Such a young side as well. It's mad.
Exceptional
It's mad.
form.
Their back four, as I said, that the average age of their back four in the team they play most weeks, I think, is 19. They've got like a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old, a 20-year-old, a 19-year-old. They're a really young side, and they do play really good football. And they haven't got any huge star names on huge amounts of money. You wouldn't think. Their manager's doing an excellent job there. Fair play to him. He's they're doing it. They don't get crowds. I mean, what do they have? They're top of the league. They had 500 there yesterday. Well, no, it's actually still a lie. They had 700, but Weymouth always travel in numbers, so I bet there was a fair few Weymouth there. They tend to get about 500 at home, so I don't imagine they're spending stupid money, but the manager's doing something right, and they're certainly putting down a marker, and they're the ones to chase.
Yep. Brilliant. Okay, let's try and go back to Forest Green. We got Sean. He's back.
Silent Bob up there.
We had a bit of internet trouble, so that's why we jumped to Gloucester City. Hello, Sean.
I've had a stinker this morning. First half, very good. Looked like we were going to go in and get that 5-0 that I've been saying on for a few weeks. Second half, I thought we were a little bit sloppy. Let them back into the game. But yeah, we just won the game. So is that 3 points is about, fair in the end.
Yeah. Kyle McAllister gives you the lead midway through the first half. That made it 2-2 for him. He's on fire at the moment, Sean, isn't he?
Yeah, he's some player. I mean, you sort of notice it when he's not around. Obviously, I know he didn't have the best of games against Boston, which was the last game before he got injured. But we did. I think you sort of noticed him when we didn't have him. Obviously, come on against Luton, and I thought he was excellent. And then he's obviously come up, started yesterday, and he's just a different quality, I think.
Yeah, he obviously I watched him again. We all watched him against the Luton game, and he was a massive. He scored a penalty, he was a massive difference maker. But obviously, Jaden Clark makes it 2 before half time, and then Forest Green for temporary was sitting top of the league. And you, like you said, you must have been thinking, I'm going to ram this down these boys' throats because we're going to get this 5-0 today.
Yeah, well, obviously, I've been saying for a little while to a couple of people, we could do with our goal difference ploughing up a little bit. Yesterday, I thought it was going to be a tough game, obviously, because they've got John Coleman now in charge. But when we went 3-0, I thought
He's
going to be 5 or 6. And then we just got sloppy in the second half. I thought the first goal was just too easy. And then I thought Gilly made a really stupid foul, which he didn't need to make. And that just let him back into the game and just crushed our goal difference.
Yeah, so obviously you go in at 2-0 half time, and then second half, obviously, like I said, McAllister makes it 3. And like Luton did, like Luton would have thought, you suspect the game's over then, Sean, don't you? And as you just said.
Yeah, to be fair, I was getting horrible flashbacks to that Luton game when we went sort of 3-0 and then we let them back into it. I was panicking at one point, but I thought we controlled it a little bit towards the end afterwards. But yeah, for a little spell of about 5 or 10 minutes, it was squeaky bum time.
Yeah, because Gilligan makes it 3-1 with about 20 to go. And then Quayne Thomas, who's obviously, I've actually thought he's a decent player. I thought he'd have had a better career than he has. But he makes it 3-2 minutes later. I I was keeping an eye on a load of other results through the day, and then when I clicked back and it was 3-2, I thought, "Oh, this is going to be interesting." And I know, Sean, that yesterday you couldn't make it. You had to you had to go to your son's youth football. I bet you had a bit of sweaty palms on those sideline.
Yeah, I did. I was watching it, and I just yeah, like you said, one minute we was comfortable, and then like I said, that spell of 10 minutes where it goes 3-2, you're sort of I wasn't fearing the worst, but I was just thinking obviously we drew 3-3 there last year, so. And then obviously, like I said, it had a lot of similarities to that Luton game in a way. The only difference is we played well against Luton, whereas I don't think Aldershot actually played that well. We literally we more or less gave them two sort of goals. It was just really sloppy.
Yeah, and then I think before we go on to Robbie's thoughts, I think Robbie said, like, the boys seemed you was dropping a bit too deep, but he said the boys seen the game out quite well. Aldershot didn't really threaten after they got the second goal.
No, that's basically what I was getting at. Like, obviously, when they went 3-2, at that point, you're thinking, oh, no. But, yeah, we controlled the game. Shame we didn't get any more, really. But it's a win. It's a win away from home, and really, that's all you really can ask for when you're playing away.
Was everybody nice to Robbie?
Yeah.
Good. That was my prime concern, rather than anything that happens on the pitch. So don't want anybody upsetting him, do we?
He had a touchline ban, Sean. I didn't realise he actually had a touchline ban.
3 yellows, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, because he was apologetic. Like I said, we'll get on to his thoughts now. But what one concern, Sean, are you concerned by the amount of, we said the same with Gloucester City, but are you concerned by the amount of goals you're conceding at the moment? Because at the moment, you've since winning 2-0 away at Woking on September the 20th, you've conceded 14 goals in all competitions. But I will add, you've scored 13. So is it a concern that you're conceding too many?
It is somewhat, yeah. I mean, obviously, the way we play, we're always going to concede goals. The last few weeks, like everyone saw, we sort of make a mistake and we get punished. Yesterday, I just thought we was just a little bit sloppy. I don't know if it was just, they switched off the game. They thought the game was won and it was a bit comfortable or what, and it. But yeah, hopefully. I mean, to be fair, against Borehamwood, we seemed a little like to tighten up. We had that one mistake, but they didn't really threaten us. But I don't know. We just see how the next few weeks go.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be Forest Green's Achilles heel this season is conceding goals. There's no clean sheet since the 1st of October, and they've conceded 4 twice and at least 2 on most other occasions. The mark of a team that wants to go up is a solid defence, and I think that could be Forest Green's big Achilles heel this season.
I think that's a fair comment, Chris, because of what I've seen with Forest Green, and I attacking wise, they look really good. And I think with that Luku coming in, I know he's injured at the moment, John. With Luku coming in, I think he's going to add even more to it. But does Chris have a point that defensively, like you look at Carlisle, they've got Linney, they've got Chris Clark, all the top sides up there have got really good forward players, but they don't seem to be conceding a lot of goals. Do you think it's a fair comment?
Yeah, I don't disagree with what he said. It's not an excuse. I don't think it's helped that our defence is changing at the moment through injuries. So obviously, we lost Kanu for a long amount of time. Then we've had to switch JNT because of his back. Now we've had to swap the keeper again. So I think there's a little bit of, I want to say, like, I don't want to say unsettled, but if you don't have a settled back four who are playing together regularly, I just think that doesn't help.
You don't want to say not settled, but it's unsettled, yeah?
Well, yeah, kind of. But do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, when you're making that many changes, um, I guess in a way it's hard to go out there every week. So, I mean, what we need to do now is just try and settle down Carnu. He's back. Obviously, the other uncertainty now is Ryan Innes has been called up to Trinidad. Whether he goes or not, hopefully he doesn't. But it's up to him.
Yeah, we'll touch on that now in a minute. Robbie does say that in his thoughts. Kyle McAllister, we spoke about Kyle McAllister. And do you think, Sean, it's fair to say that Forest Green have to go up, or he's one player who probably will end up going in the summer?
Yeah, that's been quite a big debate actually in one of our group chats. Yeah, I don't think we signed him when we got promoted to League One. He wasn't, like, yeah, I can't see him staying another season in the National League.
Yeah, I think what you sometimes get is that, we've been talking about Gloucester, and like obviously King Baidu plays out wide. You've got Simpson obviously scored 2 in 2, and I know he's talking about Joe Hanks, but Joe Hanks has been playing up front for Gloucester. But when you talk about players who are really doing well in standing out and scoring goals, it is usually your attacking flair players. So McAllister's a midfielder, and we talk about him every week, don't we?
Yeah, I think he signed a new deal when the season we got relegated out of League Two. So obviously, I think he's out of contract in the summer. But yeah, he's way too good for this level. And depends what interest he's got, but he could probably go to a team in the Scottish Premiership. Which is probably quite an attractive thing for him, being back home and playing in his top league.
Yeah, I think it's definitely important for your sake that Forest Green go up. And otherwise, I think he's one player, because you look at Charlie McCann, he's doing well for Barrow. He scored again yesterday, and he was always a player, Sean, that you raved about and said he's a decent player. We were surprised you let him go, but it seems to be finding his feet in the Football League as well.
Yeah, he is a cracking player. Not sure what really went on with him, whether he's had a bit of a bad attitude or whether he wanted to go and play up, which is fair enough. But yeah, I did hear he scored again yesterday. I haven't really looked at Barrow too much.
Yeah. On to Robbie's thoughts. He said it's 3 points away in the National League. It don't matter who you're playing. It's 3 points is 3 points, and that's what it was, Sean.
Yeah, look, I think I just said it. It's frustrating. Obviously, the game looked like it was going to be a comfortable win and work on our goal difference a little bit. But at the end of the day, when you look at the bigger picture, 3 points away from home's 3 points, and that's all you can really ask for.
Yeah. He does also go on to say, obviously, he said it was a really good first half performance. Obviously, McAllister at the bar, he said, obviously, when you went 2-0 up, it was after 3-0, it was like, right, go get 4, 5, 6. And at that point, I thought he's obviously been listening to the pod and listening to Sean saying that Forest Green are going to just score that full. But obviously, it didn't work out like that. They got the 2 back, and he was a little bit disappointed. He says about your 6s weren't holding their position. He said he told him at half time to hold the position. He said, but it was a bit open and didn't, he said, had they just sat there and protected that lead, because the 2 goals don't come.
Yeah, obviously I heard him say that. I guess that's what I was getting at when I said maybe we was just a little bit too comfortable. Obviously, players, they all sort of then just think it's too easy, and they're probably losing their position. They're probably attacking out, a bit more to try and get the 4th, 5th, and 6th. But yeah, it's gutting. Like I said, when you're so comfortable and you are winning, and you think, "Oh, right, this is going to be 4 or 5," and then it comes back to 3-2. It is a little bit gutting, but that's football.
But he says about the being open and all that, and we've discussed it on the pod here. That, do you think that because Forest Green have that quality where they've got enough quality to go and get 1, 2, or 3 goals, that maybe Forest Green may need, well, not need or want to maybe just go, right, we're good enough to go 2 or 3 and up, but maybe just change the plan a little bit once you get those 2 or 3 goals, see the game out, because that look, we say about the goals Forest Green are conceding, that's what might bite you in the end. Had Aldershot gone and got an equaliser in that last 20 minutes, that would have been detrimental to your league campaign, wouldn't it?
I think
Yeah.
fantastic is the word you were looking for, Rob.
Well, yeah, I know what you boys are saying. I'm not sure that's in Robert's mentality. I think he just wants to keep going forward and trying to score goals. You know, I still remember, I think it was one of the earlier games at home, and he turned around to the crowd and he was just like, against Sutton when we won 4-0, and he was like, no, we want 5, and he's still going for it. I just think that's just how he is. That's just how he plays football. He just wants to be attacking, and I'm not sure. I'm sure he said it himself, but when he joined and things like that, he'd rather win games like 5-4, and that it's all about entertainment. So obviously, I'm not saying he wants to concede goals. No one does. But when you're winning games, 5-4 or 4-2 or whatever it might be, you're entertaining everybody because you're entertaining the crowd, and it's a good game. Yes, I would love to tighten up defensively. Chris is bang on. Normally titled teams are really tight defensively, but we can start a new trend here.
Yeah, but I think you listen to Robert's interview. He basically he's kind of saying it without saying it, that he knows that Rovers need to tighten up. Like he said at half time, I said to the players, just keep in your positions. There's no need to go gung ho. But I think because it's been because his style of play, it's very fast, open, expansive footballing, it's entertaining. I think the players maybe have got to the point where they don't know how to play any other way.
Yeah, you could be right. I mean, when you're playing, when it's drilled into you to play attacking, obviously that's what they're going to go and do. Maybe, I mean, I don't want to say lack of experience, but maybe there's a little bit there because you've got Whitwell, who's class. He's a young lad. Sometimes Isaac Moore, again, he's a young lad. But then saying that, we've had Bunker, and he's normally pretty good. And Mendy, he's experienced again. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe they just get a little bit overexcited.
Yeah, definitely. He goes on to say that I think there's something obviously really annoying Robbie now. You can tell he gets on social media and he listens to a lot of what players, because he says a few times a little over.
It's amazing that Forest Green have so many shots because they've only got 6,000 people in the village.
Yeah, we worked it last time. That was why, wasn't it? But he does talk about the little old Forest Green challenging. Do you think, Robbie? Do you think it's starting to annoy Robbie that fans are talking about keep saying little old Forest Green, or do you think he's just jumping on board with the banter now?
I don't know, really. I mean, that's something you'd probably have to put to him. But I think he's just proud. No one's stupid. He knows we're a small club. We're punching above our weight, and that tweet that you're going on about the 6,000 odd, like they love their XG stats. Obviously Tom Carter does a lot of them, and when you're looking in the XG stats and you're seeing teams like Coventry and that, and you're beating them, I guess that's what you're getting at. But yeah.
What does it matter what the population of a place is when you've got like
we're the smallest club in
but you haven't got the smallest bank account. That's bottom line football.
You're bankrolled. You're
exactly.
a big club.
You're a marketing tool, aren't you, for ecotricity? So it doesn't really matter how many people live there.
Just getting a little bit
you could have nobody turn up to games and you'd still compete, wouldn't you? Because
I think you're just jealous, Dave.
I'd rather deep fry my left leg.
Keep going, lad. This makes good pod. But Sean, obviously for you, you're a massive Forest Green Rovers fan, and we know that. And I respect the fact that you go up and down the country every week. So genuine fans like you, that you kind of want the team to do well for you. But on the outside, you see what other fans may think like Dave saying there, and we had the banter between us and Cheltenham Forest Green, but a lot of fans will always say that Forest Green are a small club, which theoretically they are. The division's big. Robbie's alluding on that. We all know that the Junction 13 plan, which is going on at the moment, which would be great for Forest Green Rovers. But can you see why fans say it? If it was me, Cheltenham are bigger than Forest Green, despite what Robbie says. But to me, when other clubs turn around and say little old Cheltenham, I thrive off it. When Cheltenham went to Leeds and beat Leeds, and we beat Sunderland, and we beat Ipswich, and then you read the comments after the game, and the clubs are going, "No, we should be losing to Cheltenham Town." Blah blah blah. I thrive off it.
Yeah. Obviously, Forest Green are predominantly a small club, but then you look at all the teams around the county. No team is massive. When you look at Cheltenham Town, you're looking. I always compare, say, Cheltenham to someone like Mansfield Town, and you look at the difference in attendances and things there. With Forest Green, we're technically smaller than Accrington Stanley. That's just the reality.
No, technically.
As for the bankroll side of it, like, that just makes me laugh.
Will you be doing a GoFundMe or crowdfunder for the 7 million bypass? Because if you would, I'd be happy to pop the quid in. Bless him.
But like I said, as for the bankroll bit,
so unfair.
you look at all the teams in the Football League now; they've all got money. We just come into ours a bit earlier than everybody else. You look at Wrexham, you look at Fleetwood, you look at Salford. The list goes on.
Yeah, no, it's this fair comment, and I've said it before. Football fans are fickle, and we are all fickle. When me and Chris, we've all had digs at Forest Green in the past, and but the money that's been pumped in, we've just been taken over. We're not going to be too sorry to see Mike Harley pumping money into Cheltenham, are we? It's what football fans do when they haven't got it. We moan and we're jealous about it. When we have got it, it's like, oh, you're jealous because we got money. So, I like to think I'm balanced on that. But
I wouldn't say I'm jealous. Just look at where Forest Green are with their money.
No, me and Sean had this conversation, Sean, haven't we? I said to him, I think it was something like 45 million. I read somewhere that Dale has pumped into Forest Green in his 15 years. And I did say to Sean, imagine if we had had 45 million, because he's right. We are like Mansfield Town. In terms of size of the club. But let's not forget, when Mansfield were in the National League, they was only getting 3,500. But since the Radfords have gone in there and they pumped money into Mansfield and they've gone to League One, their town is realising their potential, and they're averaging between like 5,500 and 7,000. Do I think Cheltenham in the near future gets 7,000? No, but we all know that when Cheltenham are doing well, our average home grade's over 4,000. So you add away fans into that, we can be getting 5,000-6,000 fans. And like I said, to Sean, he's doing no different to what I would do if anybody was having a pop in my club. I would be defending my club to the hilt. But it doesn't mean we're going to stop, Sean.
Nah, to be fair, I mean, if everyone can chuck it at me, I love it. But going back to what I was saying, obviously, I compare, say, Cheltenham to like a Mansfield Town. I think the difference with Cheltenham is, and you say, oh, we ain't going to get that, but you could get that if you get your, advertising right, in the town, and push it, and you start doing well, and whatever else, the town will back Cheltenham. With Forest Green, they can do all that, but Stride is literally, there's a lot of Swindon fans, Bristol City fans, Bristol Rovers fans, mainly Gloucester Rugby fans. Like, it's not like the whole of Stride gets behind Forest Green. There's a little difference there. And when Robbie alludes to 6,000, that is just because Nailsworth is a population of 6,000. It's not 120,000. But, if or when the ground moves, that opens up the catchment area, and you can get people from Hardwick, Kingsway, Eastington, Barclay, wherever it might be.
Whose blood's boiling now.
That really takes that amount from 6,000 up quite a lot, I would guess.
Yeah, it would. And we'd be like smashing attendances, and we wouldn't be bankrolled, and you lot wouldn't have to say. Sorry about my language.
Wear it again.
Yeah, me.
We got him.
It's
We
the
got him,
potty
Dave.
mouth Dawn.
He is rattled. but you say that the amount of fans Forest Green may lose from moving from Nailsworth, so the older generation who won't want to travel out to
Fans lose fans.
Didn't think it was possible.
Nah, to be fair, I mean, there's a very small group that don't want to move. Majority of the people, they get football moves on, teams move grounds. It's not your MK Dons Wimbledon scenario where you're moving hour and a half or whatever it is away.
Yeah.
It's literally 10, 15 minutes drive.
For most people, being sensible for a second, for most people, it'd actually probably be quicker, wouldn't it? By the time
and I'm not sure how many people
by the time you've battled the way through the top of a hill and like through little streets and stuff, you can go down a motorway. It would be a great move for them. But
and I don't really know how many people still live in Nailsworth and come and watch them. Like everybody that I speak to or have spoken to, they come from Gloucester, Stride, Cholford, Stonehouse. Like it's all the surrounding areas.
So what you're saying is what Robbie said is completely irrelevant.
No, there's probably still a few from Nailsworth if I haven't spoke to them, but majority of the people I speak to don't really come from Nailsworth now.
But you are right though. What Chris just said, like it's not just Nailsworth. It's not the population for a club to grow. It is what you can draw in from the county. When I was growing up and I started supporting Cheltenham in 1997, the Forest of Dean was plagued by Hereford fans. It was literally everybody in the Forest of Dean went to watch Hereford, and now the tables turned because obviously Hereford dropped out of the Football League and they had to start a Phoenix club. But when I go home now, a lot of people I speak to in the Forest and go and watch Cheltenham, or there's a few who go and watch Gloucester City. To be I'm not going to use the word big club. To be a dominant club in your county, you need county-wide support, and that is you're right, Sean. By moving to Junction 13, you're gonna pay off a lot of Gloucester City people at Gloucester City, because Gloucester City are going to be looking at you thinking you're going to potentially nick a generation of fans by them just travelling down the A38 down to Junction 13. Now, whether Gloucester City get into the National League and they counteract that. So the business model, the business plan for Forest Green, I agree, it's the right move. And Dave just said, for the club, moving out there is going to give you a massive more catchment area, like you mentioned before. Cam and Cambridge and Dursley, those people in that area, Kingsway, will go, it's only down the road to Forest Green, we'll go and watch that. But once they watch it and they can't have any proper fish and chips, they might go back to Gloucester City. But you're right. We all have a joke and a thing, but I think when you put
in fairness, Reg, you've already got your Forest Green shirt.
Hey, no, that's been given away now.
True, isn't it?
Yeah, but
When we got to League One, a photo of you wearing it.
When we got to League One, obviously the access to the ground was absolutely atrocious. Not for away fans, home fans. Obviously, attendances were a lot bigger then. Obviously, by the time we move and Robbie's got us promoted to the Championship, I don't think it really matters where we are. The fans are going to make the move.
Yeah, I mean, it's only laying concrete over acres and acres of green rolling fields, isn't it? I mean, who cares about that? Eh?
It don't matter, Dave. My business are putting a stop to that. They've said £7 million for a dual carriageway, which I don't think Mr. Vince wants to pay.
But if it was a little bit less, he'd just think, "Oh, sod it and do it." He said, didn't he? But £7 million.
To be fair, it's a good thing to talk about because we meant, Sean, me and you talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and it is a major factor in what Dale wants to build down at Junction 13. And the thing is, if you're building a 12,000 seater stadium, well, it's 5,000 with the potential to go to 12,000. So the infrastructure around the stadium will have to be to cope for 12,000 potential people going into that ground. Now, obviously, the highways have gone back and said, look, if you want it, you've got to pay for a £7 million dual carriageway. Because to be fair, where you've got the entrance into your training ground now, you can go up for Eastington, but they ain't going to let 12,000 people come out on the Eastington Road. So it is going to be a major stumbling block, and it's going to be frustrating for you guys.
12,000
obviously,
people.
it's obviously a stumbling block. Frustrating. Don't make a difference to me at the moment. Like, I still go and watch them. I've always gone and watched them where they are. It's more probably frustrating for Dale, but he'll get it in the end. He'll get it one way or the other. He always does. Money talks. People were saying we wouldn't get the ground passed and all that, and that's obviously gone and got passed. It's just one of them things. He's had no support from the council. Really, he's had to fight the council for years. So
No, you're right. Things will get passed. I don't think money talks on this unless Dale pays. Because obviously, I work in the highways. I know all about access, and I build it. So if Dale said I'm not paying £7 million, then the grain doesn't go ahead because of the access point. But he's gonna have to. He's at some point he's gonna have to sit down, isn't he, with the highways and go, right, tell me what I got to pay for, how we're gonna do it, to give that access. Because obviously what they're worried about is the backing up of Junction 13 onto the
yeah,
motorway.
no, I get that, and he will have to sort something, but something will get sorted, whether that's him paying for it or he might just nip Labour for a few million quid.
Labour would have a say in it, mate. It comes down to the
Hopefully he'll have to get in
the
quick.
highway cabinet. To the Baroness of Transport would be signing that one off, and I'm pretty sure she's conservative. I don't know. We don't want politics on the phone anyway. But you're right, Sean. It's gonna happen, isn't it? It's gonna happen at some point. But obviously the delay, and you can tell, I think, by Dale's comment, being frustrated.
Yeah. Like, obviously he just keeps saying a few years away, and that's all we've had for the last few years. So, but like I said, at some point, something to give, whether that's him or whether that's them, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's up to them to sort out.
Yeah, let's go on to the final comments of Robbie. He talks about Ryan Innes being called up to Trinidad and Tobago for a World Cup qualifier, chance for Trinidad to get into the World Cup, play against Jamaica. You can tell Robbie's kind of like saying, "I don't want you to go, but it's up to him. I'll support you." It's not my opinion. It's the things I've seen. I've seen it from a couple of Forest Green Rovers fans as well, and they've said it seems like unfair pressure from the manager because he's saying one thing, but he means another. It's like, I want him to say, Rob has been an international player himself. I think the one comment I said, surely he should be encouraging him, going, look, I know we're going to miss you, but go and take this opportunity and go and play for your country.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a slight difference in Ryan Innes played for England under 16s and under 17s. For him, it's really only going for an experience. He's not actually from Trinidad and Tobago. He's born and bred English, and he's just, so it's, with Robbie, he was born and bred in Wales. So he played for Wales. If it was like an England call up, I think you'd probably see a slightly different stance from Robbie. Maybe be like, yeah, you carry on. But at this level, it's more of an experience. Go out there, experience it, whether he wants to or not, that's up to him.
The question is, do you want to be an international footballer or not? And that's the question.
No one can make that decision for him. That's up to him.
Exactly.
I think that's what
I know. I would 100% want to. If Gibraltar came and called me up and said, "Chris, your 15th grandfather was Gibraltar," I'd be straight on the plane over there to call myself an international footballer.
I think you'd look amazing in a Trinidad and Tobago kit, Chris, to be honest.
I love the
really
Caribbean
stand out
as
in
well.
that team lineup.
Love the Caribbean. I got married in the Caribbean, so if Trinidad want me,
Seen the photos,
I'm
mate.
sure I can find someone.
Sharp, in that
But
sharp green
you
suit.
say that the Cheltenham had Curtis Davis, and Curtis Davis was actually on the bench for England against Germany, but didn't come on. And because it was a friendly, he got called up to Sierra Leone very late in his career. So he's made 3 appearances and scored 1 goal. But he said it was one of his most proudest moments in football, going to represent. Even though, like Sean, like I said, he was called up to England. He said it was one of his most proudest moments was to represent Sierra Leone, part of obviously his heritage. But like I said, it's not. I don't think Robbie. I think Robbie was being very clever in his comments in terms of like going, I will support you no matter what you want to do.
Yeah.
But he was always a butt at the end of it. And like I said, a couple of Forest Green fans I saw on X was like, I think Robbie was being a bit unfair because that's if Ryan's listening to that, it's like, you know, yeah, I'm going to support you, but I'm not. I want you to stay in it. And it's like, but he should be fully supported, shouldn't he? Like to just go and play for your country.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, it's up to him. It's his decision. If that's what he wants to do, if he wants to go and get that experience, then I don't think no one's going to hate him. Robbie ain't going to treat him any different when he comes back. I think he'd obviously be gutted to lose him, which anyone would be, because I think he's a cracking player. But yeah, I mean, it's like I think people are just making something out of nothing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I generally think Robbie would back him to go and play for his country because, like I said, he knows what it's like to play for his country, and it's a massive honour. But I think if you look at it, I think had you been playing Carlisle, had you been playing Rochdale or York, I think Robbie would be going, just go. But I think the fact that you're playing Gateshead and you're playing Tamworth, we all know Tamworth have got the long throw. We know at Gateshead are probably going to, it's going to be put your tin hat on. We're going to pump the ball forward. It's probably the wrong 2 games to lose them for, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to lose him, I'd rather not lose him against, say, Carlisle or Rochdale. But you're right. Obviously, Tamworth do have a massive throw, which we know all about. But I mean, yes, like I don't know. It's up to him. I mean, I ain't sure on all like the deadlines and things like that. I think Robbie did say, they've called him up late. They haven't given the required amount of notice as well. So if the club wanted to stop him, I think they could, but he hasn't. So I think that tells you in itself that, I think people are just blowing out of proportion a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. On to the league, like I said, it's a big 3 points away from any 3 points away from home's big. It's very bunched at the top, albeit Rochdale did have 3 games in hand, and obviously they won yesterday. You look at that table, we've mentioned it before, this is open to all of you guys here. I can't see that top 7 changing. I made the comment the other week when I watched the Bournemouth game, Sean, and they seem like they've taken their ticket and they're saying we're here to stay. That top 7.
Yeah,
with all the big clubs, are in there. I'd say big clubs, the clubs who are fancied apart from Bournemouth. I don't think anybody fancied Bournemouth to be in the top 7, but all the clubs you fancied to be out there, and I think that's probably was going to stay. Do you?
More than likely, like I said, I think we spoke about it a few weeks ago, and I think we all sort of said Bournemouth may drop off. It might be too long for them. I mean, we're not even at Christmas yet, so that could still happen. As for Rochdale, I think they're going to be there or thereabouts. So I think the only thing that's going to let them down is their pitch. I mean, they've already had a game called off against Scunthorpe. Once you start having a lot of games called off, especially when we're not even in the worst part of winter yet, they're going to end up with a massive backlog of games, and it's going to be a big ask to, play Saturday, Tuesday, or even if they still struggle to get them in, you end up having to play probably Saturday, Tuesday, then on a Thursday. But it depends how many games they get called off. But I don't think their pitch is going to help them.
No, I think that's a fair comment. I think I said that myself the other day that, it's all right having 1 or 2 games in hand, but when it starts getting 3, 4, you find those teams then end up losing those games in hand because it's all bunched towards the end of the season where Forest Green, Carlisle, York, Scunthorpe will all be having a Saturday games. They'll be going Saturday, Tuesday.
And I'm not sure on who their opponents are, obviously. I know one of them's Scunthorpe. So once you start chucking big games in the middle of the week as well, that's going to take its toll because it means they're not about to rest players or rotate players or players at, the intensity they're going to play. It's going to be hard work if they get too many called off.
Funny, isn't it? When you see a team with games in hand, the first thing I do is work out the games in hand and times it by 3 points and work out where they'll be when they win them all. But they never seem to, do they?
That's generally what I do. But everyone always says it's better to have the points on the board, isn't it? So
without a shadow of a doubt,
that's just what we got to look at, really.
What's your thoughts, Chris?
I hope Forest Green drop away and Hartlepool replace them in the top 7. Other than that, no real change, I don't think. Wealdstone a bit too inconsistent to jump into that top 7. I think now the only one I can see is Hartlepool, and hopefully Forest Green drop off.
I thought maybe Halifax might have a chance to sneak in there. They're their base, but I agree. And I don't want Hartlepool, so that's a long way to go. Give us something a bit more local. But yeah, I think I think it's going to be a very exciting National League season. I think we could potentially be going into April where 3 or 4 teams still being able to win the league because everybody seems to be winning their games. But a long way to go yet. Sean, just a quick one. He mentions his Doige. It seems like Doige may be out of favour.
Yeah, not 100% sure really. I know he said a couple of weeks back Doige was only fit enough for 60 minutes. I don't know whether he's really struggling or whether he has just dropped out of favour. Legend of the club, love the bloke. Been brilliant for us. But yeah, I mean, he ain't getting any younger. His legs gone a little bit. I mean, we could really do with looking at trying to get like a proper goal scorer. I don't know, someone like Ricardo Rees from Merthyr Townsend.
It'd be a good one, Sean, eh?
Jump in before all the EFL clubs get there.
the non-league privilege.
No. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I wouldn't even want to try and speculate on what's gone on with Doige. It's just one of them things. I think that's just football, innit? Players drop in and out of form and dropping out of favour.
Yeah,
and we've got quite a few of them at the moment.
And there was a David for Harry Stead. I've seen him a few times. Like I said, as you mentioned, the playoff final against Sheffield Wednesday for Barnsley. He was outstanding, but I've seen him a few times, and every time I seem to see him, he either drops a clanger, or but he hasn't really kicked on despite playing with Barnsley and Charlton. But Robbie was quite pleased about he commanded his area yesterday.
Well, I was going to say, someone did mention to me, a mate of mine said about he thought he'd done okay. I don't think he had too much really to do, but it's one game, innit? You can't really judge anyone on one game. Got to give them a run of games, see how they get on. Obviously the comments weren't too promising in coming in for the signing, but I don't know anything about him, so I can't even try and pretend I do or guess I have.
So what you also got to be remembered on is that football fans are fickle, and I can remember Scott Flinders coming into Cheltenham, and York City fans were calling him Scott Butterflinders, and he turned out to be absolutely outstanding, Chris, didn't he, for Cheltenham, and then obviously went on to play for Cypher Mansfield. So some fans are a bit bitter when a player leaves, and they'll always say, "Oh, he's rubbish."
I mean, I always go back to Robert Sanchez, mate. Obviously, we had him on loan from Brighton, and he made a mistake every game, and he's somehow now playing for Chelsea. So, I mean, if that's to go by, if he's better than that, then already starting somewhere. And I don't think it's hard to be better than what Robert Sanchez was. Obviously, he was young, but, you just never know. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing him properly. Give him a run of games. I don't know how long Luke's out for, but whatever it is, it don't sound that good. But let's just see how it goes.
Yeah. Dave, just your thoughts on it. I'm going to ask you and Chris on the National League. Have you changed your mind? Do you think he'll win the league? Do you still think he'll win the league and the National League?
I think it'll be between. I think Forest Green will be up there, but I think Rochdale for me.
Yeah.
If I had to put money on it, I'd go Rochdale, I think.
Chris?
I think it's between Carlisle and Rochdale.
Okay. I stick by what I said. I think
I think Forest Green concede too many goals. I think defensively, that's their Achilles heel. I think Rochdale look really solid, and Carlisle look a good team as well.
Yeah, I think Forest Green will be in the playoffs and not go up through the playoffs.
In a way, I hope we go out through the playoffs just because I want to go to Wembley. But obviously, it's not guaranteed, is it? Like last year, so I don't know. I think
Hartlepool will knock you out in the playoffs.
Rochdale look the strongest. They're a very solid team, but like I said, just for the reasons of their pitch and the games in hand and things like that. I mean, Carlisle seem to keep winning at the moment, which is a bit worrying.
I agree with that. I did say Rochdale, but the one team I'd keep an eye on is Scunthorpe because nobody's talking about them.
They're a bit like we were at the start of the season. No one's talking, but they do look solid.
They look a decent side, but I agree with what you say, Sean. I think Rochdale's Achilles heel might be the pitch. In the amount of games in hand they got, but Carlisle do look solid. With Chris Clark and Regan Linney, whether they go in and add one or two bits more quality in January to that. But I genuinely I can see it going down. I can see it being like the National League safe and North last season. I can see it going down to the last.
Scunthorpe remind me a little bit of Oldham last year. No one really spoke about Oldham, and then they just went on through the playoffs. And so that's where I am with Scunthorpe. No one's really talking about them, but I feel they're a better side than what Oldham were, but no one really spoke about them.
Yeah.
So that can only be a good thing as well because there's no pressure there.
No, agree. If it stays open, it makes it interesting. It gives us more to talk about. Right, thanks for that, Sean. What I've added into today is just a quick one. I wanted to do result of the day, but we can only do the result of the day from the divisions we cover, so League Two, National League, and Southern Premier. So, Chris, I'm going to start with you. What your top three results of the day for each division?
Yeah, my League Two result of the day is Crawley beating Fleetwood. It's a massive result for Crawley. If they didn't win that, they're in their second bottom. Albeit, is it performance of the day? Probably not, because Fleetwood did go down to 10 men after 10 minutes, but they still won. So yeah, I thought that was good. National League, Carlisle beating Southend. I don't think there were many decent results really in the National League. So Carlisle would get my vote for the National League. And in the Southern, I went for Bracknell beating Sholing, however you say it. Relegation team beating a team trying to get in the playoffs. I think that was the standout result for me.
Brilliant. Cheers, Chris. Dave?
I've got to admit, League Two, I wouldn't have a Scooby. I only really look at your results and the teams are directly around you. As you weren't playing until Monday, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention. National League, I would agree. Carlisle, big result for them. Well, could have been a difficult one. And looking through, yeah, either Bracknell's win against the odds, or Walton Hersham. Could have been a tricky game. Weymouth, I think, are in a false position. I think they're better than where the table suggests they are, and it could have been a tricky game, but they just ground out another comfortable victory with a clean sheet. So yeah, one of those.
Brilliant. Sean?
Yeah, not too many. I don't think there was too many surprises in many of our leagues. For League Two, I went with Accrington Stanley away at Chesterfield. They drew 3-3. Obviously, they poor you boys sort of made Accrington sound. Getting a 3-3 draw there wasn't too bad for them.
They were 2-0 up, mine.
They
were 2-0.
Yeah, even that. I mean, if you're 2-0 up, and you're away to Chesterfield, I mean, that's a great result in itself. But I mean, still to go there and get a point when you're near the, that end and you're away from home, probably had a big crowd there as well. I mean, but it might not, I don't know. I can't really judge the performance, but as a result, that don't seem a bad result. In our league, I was trying to make a case for somebody else, but I'd probably have to go with Carlisle as well. Big game down away at Southend, and they've come out on top. And then, I think with the Southern League, I've gone for Bracknell as well, just because Walton and Hersham had a good result, but Weymouth were really poor start of the season, weren't they? I mean, they conceded 6 in one game. So a team near the top winning, 4-0? I mean, for me, don't really surprise me. Bracknell, though, I mean, they've beat a good side. So, I'll go with them.
Yeah, brilliant. Cheers, Sean. I've gone for League Two. I've gone for Swindon. I think, again, whether you're in a relegation battle or you're in a title race, they scored in the 74th minute. Tranmere got a goal back in the 88th minute, and it seemed like it was going to end the draw. And then for Swindon then to go and score a win in the 93rd minute, I thought it was a really good, show of mental steel, and they could have collapsed after the an 88th minute equaliser. So I've gone for that for League Two. In the National League, I've agreed with all you guys, Carlisle. The fact that all the sides at the top won and Carlisle had to go to Southend, which is a really hard place to go, and knowing that everybody had won, going to win, I think is outstanding. And in the Southern League, I went for Walton, and again because, like Dave said, Weymouth are a decent side, and I think they're generally a decent footballing side, but to go and win 4-0 when pressure is on is a great result. So I look good. Some of we do is our result of the day. Everybody agrees on it. We go to Sean now, and we'll go to scores on the doors before we go for our predictions of next week. Over to you, Sean.
Yeah, so obviously it's only on ours and Gloucester's game because you haven't played yet. So we all got, apart from Chris, we all got the correct result for Forest Green. And for Gloucester, we all got the correct result. So me, Dan, and Dave got 2 points. Chris got 1 point at the moment. So I'm on 18 with Dan. Chris is on 16, and Dave is creeping up on 13.
So, Sean, have you changed it to alphabetical order? Does that mean I'm top of the league now? I've seen you keep.
Reginald.
I still got you second.
Yeah, that was true. Reginald is.
It's before our S, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're starting to bunch up a bit more now, and
we do it by surname. So I'm Baker. So I'm still top.
Brilliant. Cheers, Sean. Let's go to the prediction league. Let's go for next week's games rather. Starting off with we'll mention Cheltenham because we haven't spoke about the Robins today because we haven't played.
You're mumbling to yourself there, Dan.
I am mumbling to myself. I just tried to scroll my screen up to the right place. So Cheltenham next week we're away to Tranmere. Head-to-head 17. Cheltenham won 9. Tranmere won 6. There's been 2 draws. Last time out, Cheltenham had a 2-0 loss at Tranmere and a 1-0 win at Walton Road. Tranmere's last 5 games. Tranmere's last 5 games have been they've won 2, drew 1, and lost 2. But obviously they played yesterday, so that's now 1-1, drew 1, and lost 3. How do you see it going, Chris?
I think we are 90 minutes away from pasting someone 6-0. So I'm going to go for a solid 1-0 win.
Brilliant. Dave?
I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, I think.
Sean?
I think it's gonna be
Emerges from under the desk.
No. I was just writing down the scores quick. I think it's going to be a tough game away at Tranmere, but Tranmere haven't been doing that great. I was looking at the table. I fancy Cheltenham to go and get a 1-0 win.
Write it down, guys. write this down on November the 9th, 2025 at 12:15. Sean is actually back Cheltenham to win.
That's actually killed me to say that as well, but I do fancy him to win 1-0.
He's starting to learn a bit, I think, Sean. You got to go with your head, not your heart, because you won't win the predicted league by going with your heart. Right, so you go on 1-0. I'm going to go with. I've got something in my head saying 0-0, and I'm going to kick myself for not sticking with it. But I'm going to go 1-1. Right. Okay. So on the Tuesday, Forest Green have a game Tuesday, and they play Tamworth. So the long ball throw-in they'll have to put up with. So the head-to-head also they played 18 times. Forest Green have won 6, Tamworth have won 7, and there's been 5 draws. Last time out, December 24 was a 1-1 draw at the Lamb, and April 25 it was a 3-0 home win for Forest Green Rover. Forest Green's last 5, they've lost 3 and won 2. Tamworth have lost 3, won 1, and drew 1. How do you see this? How do you see it going, Sean?
Well, toughish game, but we're at home. I'm going to fancy a massive crowd up there. So I'm going to go with 3-1. Forest Green.
Okay. Chris?
Oh dear, massive crowd from Stroud and not Nailsworth. Forest Green are getting beat, and they're getting beat by 3-2.
I reckon that's going with your heart there, Chris. Dave?
I'd go if it had been a Tamworth on their dodgy 3G, I'd fancied him, but the new law go for Forest Green win 3-1 in front of a record-breaking crowd of 726.
I'm gonna go with a 2-1 win Forest Green. Oh, Sean, you're taking some stick today, aren't you, mate?
To be fair, I'm glad you went for a 2-1 win, because I was going to change my Cheltenham one otherwise. Nah, I'll let the boys have their moment.
And then on to Saturday, you play Gateshead at home. Again, 18 head-to-head, Forest Green 8. Gateshead 5 wins, and there's been 5 draws. Last time out, September 24, 2-0 Forest Green away win, and April 25, a 3-2 win, Gateshead at the lawn, Gateshead win at the new lawn. Gateshead, the form of I've gone through the form. Gateshead's formed 1, 2, 3. Agency going, Sean.
I'd like to think a comfortable win. All depends on how we can cope after our recovery on after Tuesday. But I'm going to go 2-0 for this one.
2-0. Chris?
This will probably surprise a lot of people. I'm going to go with a Forest Green 4-1 win.
Wow. Dave?
Sean, I don't know what you said because you're on mute, but I know you said something.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 3-1 again, because again, home. If it was away at that godforsaken, horrific Gateshead ground with the running track, it might be different, but I think you'll win 3-1 again and smash the previous record and 784.
I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Forest Green. Surprising, I've just looked at the table and I thought Gateshead were higher up, but even though the league table's quite tight, they're down in 19th and a win can...
Yeah, they concede a lot of goals as well, Gateshead.
minus 16 their goal difference. But ironically, they're they're only 10 points off the playoffs. But yeah, I'm going to go with 2-0 win.
To be
on-
fair, going with what Chris just said as well, about Gateshead conceding a lot of goals. To be fair, Aldershot conceded a lot of goals, but they also score a lot of goals. So 3-2 really shouldn't surprise us.
No, you're true. But if you look at Aldershot, they've only got -8. So they're scoring, they're near the bottom, but they're scoring and conceding. But Gateshead have got by the looks of it, they've got the worst, apart from Morecambe, the worst defensive record in the league.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm going to
might be a bit nice then.
I'll stick with a 2-0. Because I think they might be bullies, Gateshead. But on the Gloucester City, they take a break from league action. They go to Slough. They've only ever played each other twice. Gloucester 1 win, Slough 1 win. Last time out was 2018, a 2-1 win for Gloucester away. And in 2019, it was a 2-1 win for Slough at Gloucester. So hopefully good news for you, Dave, is that...
That was in our little brief sojourn into the National League South, that was. But
exactly that. And Gloucester's form is 1-3, drew 1, lost 1. And Slough have lost 4, won 1. And that win was against Altrincham in the FA Cup, so from a league above. So how do you see it going, Dave?
I think we'll win it. I think I'm going to go for a 2-0 win City with a clean sheet with Bree back.
Chris?
Don't know about this one. I can see a 2-1 defeat.
Okay. Sean?
I might go 1-1.
1-1.
Nice boring 1-1.
Do you want for an extra point? You're going to go through wins in extra time?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Gloucester. I'll give it to Gloucester.
Since when did that come as a rule? You could gain extra points by fudging, not guessing who's going to win.
But if you get the win, the correct score, you're going to get 3 points. But if you correct this as a draw, there's still got to be a winner, so you can't get 3 points. So
he should just get.
You get 1 point,
he
surely.
Get 4 points. If it's nil-nil, he should get 1 point.
We'll go with what Dave.
Unfair.
We'll go with what Dave says. Dave looks very angry.
We have a vote. Who thinks Sean should get an extra point for no reason whatsoever? I think no. The no's.
So there you go, Sean.
There goes your extra points, then.
There's no extra point. You've been outvoted. I'm actually going to go with a draw. I think going to go to extra time, but I think Gloucester are winning extra time.
Dan, for an extra point, are you going to pick a winner?
Yeah, I like Gloucester extra time. We'll have a breakaway league. I'm just going to quickly go over this. So thanks for that, guys. We'll quickly go over this. We've been wanting to do it for weeks, and we've this podcast gone on a bit today, which is fine. We want to just talk about ticket pricing for football clubs, and we've all tasked the guys to do a bit of homework on what an away day will cost for Cheltenham, Forest Green, and Gloucester City. Luckily, Dave gets involved in the away day travel, so he's going to have the best knowledge of what we need for Gloucester City. So we're going to start with you, Dave. If Gloucester City were away, so say Slough Town, you got Slough Town away on next Saturday. What would it cost roughly for a family of 4 if they wanted to go?
Family of 4, so it's 20 quid. 20 quid for the coach. Might get down to 15 if we get it completely full. So let's look on the bright side. Full 15 quid for us. If it goes to 15, it'll be the same price for kids because we've just got to make the coach break even. So if we're in a position of making profit, then we would knock a bit off for kids. But say 60 quid for 2 adults, 2 kids, and then to get into Slough, it's a tenner for this game. So that's 80 quid. I'm not sure what kids are. I think I think if you go with your imaginary family that you were talking about earlier on, sort of a teenager and a little, and I think it's a £5 and £3. So I think you're looking at about 65 quid for next weekend for a family of 4.
Is
Plus-
that ticket wise? Is it for the game, or is that all in?
Oh, sorry, 60, 70, 80, 85, 85 all in.
So that's reasonable, isn't it? If you wanted to take him out for,
Damn sight better than what you worked out for Cheltenham Town.
yeah, we'll get on to Cheltenham after. Sean, Forest Green.
Our coach is mainly 35 quid for an adult, and 10 quid for an under 11.
35 quid for adult.
Where's that going to? Belgium.
So basically, most of our away games are 35 quid.
Is that
It's to get out. It's just to get out of Nailsworth.
Having said that, to be fair, I'd pay 35 quid in Elspeth.
Going to Carlisle, it was £44.
Just pause there, Sean, and because I'm not going to mention the coach company because I think it's unfair. I believe Forest Green used the coach company you mentioned, Dave, at the beginning, who were very expensive.
The one in Eastington.
Yeah. So okay. So Sean, is that £35? Is that £34 for adult and child?
No,
No, £35 for an adult.
Yeah.
10 quid under 11.
£10 for a child. So if it was me and say my 2 boys, I'd be looking at £55
£55, yeah.
just for coach.
Yeah.
Or two adults, 2 kids, you'd be looking at 90 quid.
So
Yeah.
So we'll go with a family of 4. So if it was you, your missus, and the 2 boys go in. So yes, that's 90 quid there. And what was the ticket prices for Aldershot yesterday?
An adult was quite expensive. I think it was for me it would have been £23.
23. So
I didn't catch what a youth was.
I'm pretty sure I saw someone put like £12-13 for a young person's ticket. I'm sure I did.
Let me have
Have a quick look, but at the moment you're looking there without the 2 children ticket prices, £136, which is extortionate to take a family out. So I sure look, I'll put £12 times 2, so £160 if you wanted to go out with your family to the game yesterday to Aldershot. What do you think about that, Chris?
Ludicrous.
How many seater coach is that, Shauno?
50.
50 seater. So
I think it's 50, 55. I ain't sure what a normal.
you're making a decent profit charging 35 quid. But if that's full, that'll make a decent profit. I know what the costs are. We just divide the cost. I will shout out our supplier. They're a company called Bayliss, and if we didn't have them, we'd run an awful lot less coaches because they're offering some really good prices. Our coach was 650 quid. It is to Slough. So that allows us to charge 20 quid a head if we get 32 people to 33 people and break even.
Yeah.
Yeah, junior was £8.
Oh, okay.
But they did a family ticket for £48.
Is that family of 4? Is it?
Just
Yeah,
trying to
absolutely.
look, it don't specify, but
It's pretty family ticket tends to be, but it is for Gloucester City is 2 adults and 2 like under 18s.
That's good. I can actually turn around and say I think that's actually that's fair price.
Yeah, 30 quid for 2 adults and 2 16-year-olds is, I think, excellent value.
Yeah, 100%. Now obviously we go on to Cheltenham's ticket pricing for Tranmere away. So if you look at Cheltenham's ticket prices for Tranmere, it's £29 for non-members. So if I went by myself, I always drive to away games, but if I decided to go on the coach, I'm not a member. So 29 quid for 2 adults, and then they do a young season ticket holder. So if you're a young season ticket holder, it's £12.50. So save last times 2. Then two adult tickets for Tranmere away is £23 each. Let's say a young person for under 16, and then let's say what my youngest daughter is for £5, you're looking in the region of £155, £160 for the day. And like Dave said before we come on, that doesn't include food for the day and what have you. It's Chris, it's extortionate, isn't it?
It is. It's pricing families out. I mean, what if you couldn't go unless you could bring the whole family? Not everyone has the ability to just go drop everything and go to the football.
Yeah. The biggest thing I
everyone can
take
do
away
that.
from this is just an absolute sense of gratitude that my wife and children don't like football.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And now my wife and children do like the football. So whenever we go to the football, it's all of us generally.
Yeah.
And the pricing is completely ridiculous. And the FA Cup pricing, by the way, is ridiculous. To watch us play a pretty poor team, let's be honest, in terms of the pyramid, they're charging £24. It's ridiculous.
Well, this is the reason we wanted to get this in today, because again, I know in an FA Cup tie, it's got to be agreed with the away team, but Buxton only took 600 to Ipswich in the FA Cup.
You'd think the away team would be led by they'd think that Cheltenham would know best, because at the bottom line is they just want as many people to generate as much money as possible because they're getting a share of it. So if Cheltenham turn around and say, well, we reckon we'll charge £24, they're going to go, yeah, all right then, because they'll think, oh, people are going to pay £24.
Exactly.
And you can blame real Buxton for that. As I said on Twitter, I think £24 expensive. But what absolutely blows my mind is that if you take your 18-month-old baby with you, you've got to pay £9 for him to get in. That just absolutely vexes me why a club would do that. Why would you do that?
It's out of touch. It is literally out of touch with everything. And like I said, Buxton took 600 to Ipswich in the FA Cup. So, they're probably going to bring between 300 and 500 to Cheltenham, because don't get me wrong, the Ipswich game was an 5:30 kickoff on a Sunday. But so on a Saturday, 3:00, they're probably going to bring about 500 down to Cheltenham. But what Cheltenham have missed out on is they've not looked at gone, well, there was only 2,600 home fans for Bradford, because fans are moaning about having to pay.
But if you could literally not get them in the ground and it was going to be a sellout, you can understand
it was an opportunity,
but it's
to
not going to
bring
be, is it?
fans
There's going to be plenty of extra
they've
space.
got it
So why
completely
wouldn't you encourage more people to be in the ground on the day?
No,
100% agree with that, Dave. It's an opportunity to get fans through the door, and they have got it completely wrong. Completely wrong.
They could have easily have gone, right, let's go £12 standing, £15 seating, and let's go kids for £1. Pack the ground in, because the big thing here is for Cheltenham is that there's a massive opportunity to get into the FA Cup third round, get a big crowd in there. That might put Buxton off, because they ain't used to playing in front of 4,000 or 5,000. But if only 2,000 home fans turn up and 500 away, is that really going to put Buxton off? Are they going to, if there's a stand half empty and beyond the goal maybe gets closed, because which they won't close it, I know that, but it'll look very empty. They'll just turn up and go, oh, great pitch to play on, it's a half decent stadium, we'll just get on with it. But if they're there, and as you know, Walton Road, even when there's 4,000 inside Walton Road, it looks very tight and on top of it. Players always
it is intimidating.
They sit. The players have said that coming to Walton Road, when especially the seating area is all full, the fans are that much on top of you, it can be intimidating. We missed a trick.
And it's not just on the day, is it? It's just so short-sighted. These are the days, FA Cup days, that you could, like, if you go when you're 7 and your dad takes you and your 8-year-old brother, those are the days that they fall in love with the club, and you stay with that club forever.
Of course it is, Dave. And
barking baptism.
The thing is, if we get into the third round and we get Tottenham, Arsenal, Man United, or whoever at Walton Road, and the club come in and say we're going to charge £35 an adult, I wouldn't moan about that.
No,
because the demand to be there, people to pay it, but then also give a little bit back and go, right, in the second round against Buxton, we did charge you £15. So this is a very high profile game against Arsenal. We're going to charge you 35 quid. It would sell out, people to buy it, but as you're right, it's a chance miss. They do 2 or 3 kids for a quid for a season. They ain't going to do. It was an opportunity to get as many children there as possible. FA Cup, the magic. But yeah, I think the club would
Jumpers for goalposts, marvelous.
Yeah. Your thoughts, Sean?
Yeah, I think you're all right. When you're a young kid, if your parents can't afford you to take you to a live game, it kind of makes it's hard to get you back in the future. So yeah, I mean, I think pricing needs to be looked at. I agree with what you just said about the FA Cup. Making it cheaper for the second round and then maybe a big tie in the third round. It evens itself out. What I did want to chuck in there was I didn't mention, obviously, with the coach on Forest Green, if you're part of the supporters club, you do get I think it's like a £3 discount.
Yeah, that's
only 31.
So obviously, there is a bit of an incentive there to be a supporters club member. I think last year the club were great. Dane Vince, his boy, he's obviously the CEO. They subsidised away travel for the last, I don't know how many it was, last few away games. I think coach travel was like a £5, which I thought was great as well.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's try and get more fans at away games in for the running. So I mean, the club do a lot of things right, but I think football as a whole is pricing people out of it. There's me, my wife, and 3 kids. Now they're not really into. Well, my boys, they do like watching football. My missus and daughter aren't really into football. But if we go to an away game, we try and make sometimes a weekend of it.
Yeah, we do that.
Try and stay somewhere and make a weekend of it. You're looking sometimes at well over 100 quid before we even, do anything else. So, I mean, football really needs to be looked at.
Yeah, it's pricing family out. I think it's a really good thing. We've had a chat about it and get it out there because I think something needs to happen before football goes bang. You're starting to see it. Oddly, you're starting to see attendances grow in the football league now because a lot of fans are now wanting to support their local teams because Premier League is so, in my opinion, boring and it's all day trippers who basically go. So people want to go watch their team. But like Cheltenham, we got relegated in League One. We was always averaging 4,000 in League One. Home fans, we was expecting that to drop, but it didn't. It stayed. Last season we averaged just over 4,000 home fans. Yeah. So what do? We stick the prices up.
Yeah, and people support a winning team, don't they, or a better performing team? It's like we thought, how's this going to affect us being relegated from the National League North to the Southern Premier Division? Is it going to decimate attendances? But we're averaging more because we're winning. When in the National League North, when we came down, we were obviously losing more games than we won. So I think a lot of the time people kid themselves about the level. It's about people who watch a winning team, aren't they?
Yeah, we all sit here, don't we? Like me, Chris, you, sure. We all take the mickey of each other, going, attendances, this, that, that.
Certainly do, Reg.
but on a serious note, I always say, like those 229 Forest Green fans who travelled to Aldershot yesterday, people might go, of course, only 229 and you're 5th in the league. Rather than the ones who didn't go, let's praise the ones who did go. Let's praise the ones who went to Carlisle. Let's praise the ones who went to Altrincham. Same with Cheltenham next week at Tranmere. We'll probably only take about 200 up to Tranmere. And Dave, you went to Uxbridge the week before, whether it was 55 or 80 Gloucester fans, that's still 80 people who have chose to go and watch our local, or 100, whatever it was. Still 100 people who have chose to go and watch our local side at Southern League Premier, rather than sitting at home and watching Man United against Liverpool on TV. And I'll always take my hat off to them. But the Football League need to look very closely and work out about distributing more money down the pyramid, not just down the Football League, into non-league as well, because what you'll do is you'll price people out of going to watch our local teams, and they'll sit there in front of Sky TV, TNT.
The thing is, some of these championship clubs, the prices are really cheap, aren't they? I mean,
I've mentioned Blackburn a couple of times. You can go and watch Blackburn for 15 quid.
But then
I think Bristol City are quite expensive.
Yeah, but the worst in the Championship is Coventry. They charge away fans 45 quid. And their chairman, if you go and have a look at their chairman's interview, I think it was this week or the week before, and he just basically turned around and said, "You're welcome to come and watch us. If you don't want to come and watch us, don't come and watch us. If you come and watch us, you'll see a great brand of football. You're missing the point, mate. It's two adults going to cost you 90 quid to go and watch football. Again, it's just
Before you get there as well.
exactly, Chris. Like the fuel in then food in the day. Like Sean said, you might have to stay away if it's a midweek game. You might go, "I got to stay in a hotel." Like every time we go to Grimsby, we always stay in an hotel.
Although I wouldn't really want to stay in Coventry.
Or Grimsby, to be fair.
Did he have no? Well, yeah, that is true. But so
Luton, on the other hand.
well, but yeah, I think they need to have a good look at it, make sure that they don't price fans out and families out, and then you'll end up having the ITV problem you had years ago when ITV went bang, and then almost a lot of clubs went bang as well because they was because their ticket prices then wasn't as bad as they are now. But anyway, right, I think that's a good place to leave it. Thanks.
We did under 2 hours.
Yeah, thanks as always, John.
Cheers, guys. Sorry about the start.
that was half hour there, Dave. Cheers, Chris.
Cheers, Reg.
Bit of a quiet one for you today, but you'll get your own back next week because we've got 2 games to cover.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's hope we win, eh?
Yes. Thanks, Dave.
No problem, Reginald.
This is gonna get tiring. Thanks for everybody for listening. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube. On a day that Rovers nearly shot themselves in the foot, and are you telling me you haven't heard City are in a tighter race in Cheltenham? Not still Monday.